Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. Get this man a shield.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the MCU again, and today we're talking about Black Panther. Now before we begin, full spoilers, I am going to be talking about the movie kind of openly and freely. It did come out a couple of years ago, and if you are a fan of these Marvel movies and you've been watching them all and these reviews, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. If you haven't, however, and you don't care about spoilers, hang around, otherwise don't watch the video. Spoilers, spoiler warning. Alright, so the first thing I want to say is I'm glad that I get to review this movie 3 or 4 years after it came out, after the hype has died down, because if you said that this movie was anything other than perfect, you were to be hung in the town square. If you said you didn't enjoy Black Panther, you were just automatically racist. It was crazy, people were so defensive. But thankfully, I did enjoy it, but I don't think it's perfect. I know the idea of a perfect movie is subjective really, but I want to talk about how this was the first superhero film ever to be recognized and nominated for an Oscar. Not The Dark Knight. I mean, it's The Dark Knight. Not Logan. Logan could have been. Even Spider-Man 2, if you wanted to give them the Oscar for like the cinematography, just the way that that was shot, the way that it broke the mold for superhero films to be other than just camp, but maybe a drama. None of them were nominated for Oscars. No superhero film other than this at the time was nominated for an Oscar, because the Oscars have never seen these movies as anything other than it's a dumb popcorn flick to make money, with a CGI battle at the end. And they're nominated not because this movie is spectacular. I think it was out of fear of woke culture. In some people's eyes, this is the best comic book film of all time. But I think in terms of hype and in terms of scale, Infinity War later that year topped it. Like, I don't think it lasted. Would a majority of you, if given the option to see one movie or the other, would choose Black Panther over seeing Infinity War? Given, say, you haven't seen both of them, alright, and you have to choose one movie to watch during the year, would you choose Black Panther? I think this is good, but I didn't love it. A lot of people really love it, and if you do, that's great, more power to you. I just wish I could feel what you're feeling. One of the biggest arguments I see for this changing the superhero landscape is that the lead is black. And because the lead is black, that somehow makes this untouchable to criticism, at least when it came out. The few reviews on Rotten Tomatoes were getting slammed on Twitter for saying anything negative. I don't see how a film that is more diverse, which is great, prevents it from taking any criticism. Because look, I don't really see color, alright? I don't see white, black, Asian, I see people. There's people and we're all red on the inside. So in terms of movies, my thinking's the same. I don't care if you're white or you're black, whatever. I want to see great stories about people. Which is one of the reasons why Michael B. Jordan works so well in the film for me. I think this movie could have been spectacular. It could have been something really special. I love Black Panther, but I feel like this movie is just a bit of a disservice to that character and everything they had built in Civil War. Because in Civil War, he's calm, he's assertive, he knows exactly what he wants to do and he's ready to take over as king. But in this movie, he seems so unsure of himself. I think the movie's biggest problem is that it falls under the fatigue of the Marvel formula. I don't think finally giving us a compelling villain, which we should all expect of these movies, like it shouldn't be the biggest praise that this has a good villain in it. All these movies should have good villains in it. Because we're finally not getting under the standard and at the standard, that doesn't make it perfect. So yes, the argument is that the black lead, it's broken the mold, changed things. Have you seen Blade? We have black superheroes. It's not the first time it's ever been done. So in terms of it being new and fresh there, no, it's not. Cinematography in this movie is a bit here nor there. I think it's a little bit above average, and it balances out to that because sometimes it can do some really stylish stuff. It can look really good. And then coupled with some really unfinished looking CGI towards the final battle, it can look horrendous. I really wanted to love this movie because so many of my friends did, and I didn't get it because I'm a fan of Black Panther. My favorite portrayal probably has to be in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. He's just what he is in Civil War. He's just smarter than everyone else. And yeah, I said it before, in Civil War, he kinda is the same there. He's very calm and assertive, and now he just seems so unsure of himself. It doesn't seem consistent. It's like it's backtracked. It's like how in Daredevil, the Netflix show, if you've seen it, Punisher shows up in season 2, and he's the Punisher. He's there. He's perfect. He's a remorseless killer. You kill criminals, you put them in the ground, they don't get back up. He's like committed to that idea. But then in his own show, he all of a sudden is, the whole season's like him questioning whether he should be killing, and he's more of a Wolverine type than anything. And it feels like the character went backwards just to go all the way back to where we caught up to before. That's what it feels like here. He doesn't feel like the same character that he was in Civil War. Is it just me? The writing feels different. The costume, I love this costume, but so rarely is it practical. You get it practical at the start, it looks amazing, but it gets the same treatment as Spider-Man in the Home trilogy, where they have a pretty cool suit and they cover it in a rubbery CGI outfit the whole time. The whole thing's coated and it just takes away from it, because it is a cool design. The humor, I mean, look, humor is very subjective. It just didn't really work for me. I feel like the, what are those? It feels a little outdated already. I don't know, the humor just, it wasn't really working for me. Even though it doesn't always work for me, Chadwick, may he rest in peace, I can easily see being an idol for millions of kids growing up today. It's giving me the same vibe that the original Spider-Man trilogy had for me as a kid. I can see that this film is going to leave a huge impact, especially with Chadwick passing away now too, that this is just going to be in the halls of iconic history in terms of superheroes, especially ones of color. That the iconography of this movie is just going to stick with people forever. Like with Heath Ledger and when he passed, The Dark Knight will never be forgotten. So I can see him being a hero to a lot of kids, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. You know, like some 21-year-old guy in a butt-fuck town in the middle of nowhere thinks whatever of a movie, it doesn't matter. It's about the kids and what they enjoy, and us as adults now giving them the best movies we possibly can. But personally, I'm a Miles Morales kind of guy. Into the Spider-Verse is bloody awesome. Just being a king in Black Panther, he's cool, but it's not something I really relate to. I think the film does a great job in having the characters constantly self-assess that, are we doing the right thing? Should we be doing better? Should we be sharing our vibranium and technology with the world? Is it gonna make it a better place or worse? Questions like these keep it from feeling like just another Marvel movie. There's gems of greatness here and a potentially spectacular movie, and I just feel like it just runs away from them at the last second whenever something great happens. When it comes to this movie and just rewatching it back, Michael B. Jordan is the highlight for me. He's the reason I go back. Not a perfect villain, he's got flaws, but it's the human element to his argument. He's not just here for the maniacal laughter, he's here because he has something to say, and what he has to say has validation. It was fresh, his cause was interesting. Claw didn't do much for me. It was nice seeing Andy Serkis back, but at the end of the day, he didn't really add too much to the film. Another thing I really love is the soundtrack. I love everything about it, from the score to The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar making Pray For Me. It's great. Again, I really wanted to love this movie. It was made by Ryan Coogler, and he did Creed, and I love Creed. I just didn't feel it. It just didn't hit the mark that I wanted it to. Thinking back to the CGI fight and the rhinos in the field, and then two Black Panthers that are, you know, the suits are black in a dark place with the CG, just, you couldn't see much. And then when you can, it looks like a PS2 cutscene. The film has problems, but hey, I like it enough that I own it here on 4K. So that should be telling how I feel about it. Otherwise, Black Panther from me is gonna get a solid 7 out of 10. If you're a superhero fan and you've watched the MCU up until this point, it's a must, don't skip it. But if you wanted a story about a black protagonist that's just spectacular start to finish, I'd recommend like Django Unchained. It's great, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. But Jamie Foxx in that film, he's a hero that I'm 110% behind. Anyways guys, this review's probably gone on long enough. I've talked way more political Twitter bullshit than I'd fucking like to. I just like talking about movies, and when it comes to this movie, that's just part of what came with it. Anyways guys, if you like this, consider liking the video or subscribing. I don't know, hit a button, choose one. You can choose the dislike one, but I won't see it. If you've made it all the way through to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time when I'm talking about Avengers Infinity War. Oh shit, we are here. Except this is gonna be a bigger video. The review's done. If you want to leave, leave. This is just post-discussion on other things that are happening on the channel. This review, like the other Avengers review, is going to be big. It's going to take a bit of time. It's close to Christmas and there's a lot going on, so expect a review for Spider-Man No Way Home before you see that. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope you have a great day. I hope that you have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.